Good morning and welcome to Inside Running on Tab Radio Racing and Sports.
Magnificio races to the lead, getting through Waterman's Bay. Magnificio narrowly from Waterman's Bay.
Our team will evaluate each race, interview leading contenders and update Tab Touch markets.
But now Delicacy, here she comes. Delicacy under the 59, went to Neverland and reeled up Dark Musket. It's Delicacy against the inside. Sublime, brilliant, greatness in the cup.
We trust you will enjoy this edition of Inside Running. Now, over to the team for their look at today's meeting.
Fine and sunny today in Perth, 29, a southeasterly tending to southwesterly by the middle of the day, and beautiful conditions to be gathered around the wireless listening to racing non-stop throughout the day as we welcome the Inside Running team led by Darren McAullay. Good morning to you.
Oh, very good morning to you, and a description here that is very, very underutilised, the wireless. I do like that. That's a nice...
I still have one and I still utilise it.
Yes, absolutely. We're up and around the wireless. Do you really?
Do, yeah.
Utilising a wireless.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Well, I listen to it.
Nothing wrong with it. It's hard to watch it.
The sort of connotation there is very lengthy.
Right.
What do you do with your wireless?
Well, I listen to it. I turn it on and I listen to
Saturday mornings we grew up around the wireless at TC. That was well before your time. We'd moved on well past then. Diggers, you might have been on the cusp of a wireless.
Yes,
good
very
morning
much.
to you.
Good morning, Darren, Matt, Taylor, Courtland in place of Scott Embry this morning. Good morning to you, TC, and everyone tuned
TC?
in.
I'm going well.
My mother gave me a spray the other day too. She listens to the program and notes a few tips down. She said, how can you keep doing that to that poor young boy behind the desk, mistaking his name?
Tim? I copped it a couple of times during the week.
So I've copped a bit of a spray from the old girl the other day.
It's not...
She said, just leave Naylor alone.
Yeah, it's very offensive being called Tim.
Confidence levels today?
I think it's feast or famine. I don't think you can really label too many, really put the flag in the ground, but if you are able to find a couple, I think there might be a few there at each way odds that if you back 2 or 3 winners on the program, I think we should come out well in front.
Happy with your work if you can do that
exactly.
there. Good to see London's Image back quickly. She'll run early on in the program, a race that's down to 6 there, but gee, hasn't she proven herself to be one of, if not the toughest fillies raced in WA this season?
Terrific. Her Pinnacles campaign was extensive, clearly, that we've commented on often, but boy, oh boy, every task that she was set by Ryan Hill, she handled it with aplomb, and she's a very valuable filly going forward now, and it's interesting. She's well placed. It's a great piece of placement by Ryan under the conditions of this race. Set weights and paddle, an open class filly, only carries a 57.5, so she's thrown in under the conditions of the race. Is she going to have the sprint in the legs over the 1,100 metres? That's what we're going to find out.
Yeah, absolutely, and then we might be able to see her at Pinjarra in a 3-year-old trophy for the Magic Millions as well.
Speaking of 3-year-old races with Magic Millions hosting them, the Guineas at the Gold Coast last night. What another great result it has been for Peter Walsh, part owner of Bazasto, a half-brother by Blue Point to Amelia's Jewel, and acquired, of course, the mare Bumbacina out of that great trip some years ago now with George McAlgic to England for Royal Ascot, and out of that one trip, Amelia's Jewel and all of the others that have come through subsequently since then, and it continued last night with the Magic Millions 3-year-old Guineas win of Bazasto. So it just has been a remarkable couple of years.
It has. Picks up 1.7 million, that win last night. Bazasto, and as stupid as it sounds, the 625,000 spent by Luke Fernie for the full to Amelia's Jewel.
Very affordable investment.
It's a cheap buy. I know that sounds stupid now. If he is able to win a black type race as a juvenile, the full to Amelia's Jewel, the half to Bazasto, the world's his oyster.
There's no guarantee, but boy, you're putting the percentages in your favour, aren't you?
The mayor's done a wonderful job, clearly.
Yeah, she really has been. It's just been an extraordinary story that continues to keep evolving. The gift that keeps on giving, I suppose.
The only person going better than Walsh is probably Beyond Baker.
Hasn't he had a 12-month period?
Took out the 2-year-old race there last night.
That's right.
It's a good spectacle under the lights, actually.
Yeah, I just wonder whether that's going to be the journey that they take, Magic Millions and Racing Queensland in the not too distant, with this race on the Gold Coast.
Delayed, of course, from last weekend. Their run last night under the lights. More rain. Well, it's seen the abandonment of Wyong today. Sydney doesn't look all that great either. I'm not quite sure what the track rating is, but they've got plenty of rain around New South Wales and certainly through metropolitan Sydney, so we'll keep a watch there as to see how things are going there. Okay, very few scratchings for the meeting today, incidentally. We'll get to the meeting now. It's 11 minutes after 8 o'clock on Inside Running. Great to have your company, of course, on this Saturday. It's dawned beautifully outdoors there. A little bit of rain yesterday. It just cooled things down nicely and settled the dust as we take a look at those changes for the meeting at Ascot, which gets underway at 4 minutes after 1. It's a little later start than what we've been accustomed to more recently. And a 5:40 finish. And the opening event on the card, the running of the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap to get things underway. But the scratchings, we'll go through those. There are only a few. In race 2, we can take out the bottom pair, number 7, Ragnar Rocket, eligible for something much easier, and 8 Star Supreme. That's numbers 7 and 8, down to 6 running there. Just swing over to race 4. And here we take out number 7, the important one from yesterday, in Kraken Time. So it's sort of a big reshuffle of the betting market in that particular event. Then go right down to race number 7, and you can take out 11, Kalima. Number 11, Kalima, out of race 7. And in the last on the program here, number 13, Expelliarmus, also was one of those earlier scratchings. So race 2, numbers 7 and 8. Race 4, number 7. Race 7, number 11. Race 9, number 13 are the changes. We might take a break here, Matt, and come back and kick things off here at Ascot with our preview of racing on a good 4 today. The rail will be at 3, and more of Inside Running after this.
You're tuned into TAB Radio, Racing and Sport. Take TAB Radio wherever you go by listening on the Tab Touch app.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Conditions pretty good for racing today. It gets a bit warmer, though, Diggs, during the course of the week. A couple of scorches there Monday, Tuesday. Do you think we'll be okay Wednesday, Thursday? Looking ahead, Ascot with that meeting around that 37, 38 degree mark. Yeah, it sits on the cusp, doesn't it? And then Pinjarra Thursday. First of a couple of meetings down there, but Geraldton's looking a bit shaky there on Friday because they are expecting a heat wave up towards 42 degrees. Maybe even hotter.
We've had some hot days here in Perth throughout the summer, but we're probably in the midst of, we'll get through today, but the week upcoming is one of just extreme temperature. So it's that first prolonged period. Tomorrow, 37 in the metro area. Monday, 41. Tuesday, 42. Wednesday, 37. Thursday, 38. Friday, 39. So we're set for a stinker. Hopefully, Ascot on Wednesday can go ahead. Pinjarra Thursday can go ahead. You'd think Gerald's in real trouble with the forecast in excess of 40.
David Redstead has indicated there that they'll be looking at alternatives already because of the extreme weather up there. As you know, being a Gero boy, it does get very, very hot.
I think the coolest day there this week's at 38 or 39. So it's prolonged. I think the weekend's in the 40s too. So whether or not,
so's the early part of next week. I think it's very
I'm not sure
hot as well.
Where you move it or how you can do it, but hopefully they'll be able to get that meeting run on one somehow.
Stay tuned, of course. All those different aspects are going to be discussed through the week, and no doubt there'll be changes made. All right, let's have a look at some of the betting changes in the first event here at 4 after 1, the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap. It's over the short course. And 4 of the 7 runners in the opening event are dropping back here to the 1,000-metre distance, Matty. What's the market looking like here with another strike very popular?
Yeah, from 3:30 into 2:45. Capricorn Man got out to 13 before firming back into 9:50. 6 into 4:20. Rocket Juice. 3:80 out to 4:60. Salt Lake Shakers now at 4:40. See you at the session. 9 out to 31. Back now into 7:50. 16 Star Power, and talking gibberish at 19.
I can't work out some of the markets for this meeting, to be honest. I had a look at them on Thursday, and then they went wild there for a little period of time, and there were corrected markets. There was a scratching or two here which saw an adjustment to some of the markets on respective races, but some of them were just wildly over the top.
Well, another strike opened around that 2.8, got out into the 3s and has been heavily commissioned since Friday morning and now sits at the 2.45, as you heard Matt talk about. And he gets the addition of shades today, TC, and I dare say that Lou and Jason will just be hoping he can, one, leave the machines and just travel a little bit keener and get on that bridle so he doesn't have to be urged along like he was at his most recent outing when he was still pretty good.
He had the chance to beat Rocket Juice, who sort of got him on the line there. That was 1,200. As Macca said, a lot of these horses dropping back to the 1,000. That's probably small query for me, but he's going to get the speed. He's going to get back off them, but there's plenty of speed here. Small field, but plenty of 1,000-metre speed.
Well, the speed there will probably really, I think, emerge from Salt Lake Shake, who went around and led them running without any blinkers on. It has them, of course, first up here, and the stable has hit a recent purple patch of form. I would have thought that Salt Lake Shake, with its early brilliance out of the gates, would lead this field and might take a bit of running down as well, Diggs.
I'm not sure.
Who trialled better of the two Simon Miller horses?
It's a good question. He was sharp all the way. Salt Lake Shake, without the blinkers, gets them today. And I thought See You at the Session was still pretty good. He breezed, and he wasn't really extended over the concluding stages. Salt Lake Shake did run a length and a half, nearly 2 lengths quicker than what See You at the Session did. I thought there was a bit of speed underneath Salt Lake Shake.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Like, Talking Gibberish is quick. Star Power is quick. Capricorn Man, he's back from the 12 to the 1,000. I just thought there was half a sticky gate for both Salt Lake Shake and See You at the Session, whereas Another Strike is going to be in that moving line and does get the addition of carts.
I'd like to see Chris give Salt Lake Shake a good roust up out of the gates and a kick, because I think personally that he has a little bit too much early speed out of the machine here. For the others, I know that some of them are reasonably quick, but he can be really fast, and with those blinkers on, as we've seen. So I thought that of Simon's two here, that Salt Lake Shake could quickly negate the draw, but See You at the Session might have found itself in a bit of a conundrum, I think, from barrier 7 in a field of 7.
I think they take the medicine with See You at the Session. I think they'll go back. I don't think they'll engage in any speed battles. Salt Lake Shake probably finds the breeze, I thought. I'd be surprised if Salt Lake Shake was able to lead, but I'm with Another Strike. I think the $2.45 currently that we're looking at is a little bit under the odds, though, but he's bursting to win a race. The Cups go on. Diggers has made a good case. I like number 5, See You at the Session. I thought the trials were really good. I've had a little bit of a bet. I thought he was a value in the race at around that $8 in what I thought was a little bit more open than what the market suggested. Number 3, Rocket Juice. If you like Another Strike, you've got to stick with Rocket Juice. And then number 4, Salt Lake Shake. We spoke about the trials. Trialled well. 1, 5, 3 and 4 in the opener for me.
How do you see the sticks?
Same 4 numbers, different order. 1, 4, 3, 5 for myself. Another Strike on top from 4, Salt Lake Shake. 3, Rocket Juice. You got a good run along the fence there. It's his first go at 1,000 metres, which is interesting, whereas Another Strike has been to the 1,000 previously. We've seen that, and has won under the 59.5 over the 1,000 metres in town. That was a no Metro 3-year-old race. He does go up half a kilo on that recent second. I thought he was still pretty good that day. Ran 33.87, so it's a decent enough fraction that he was able to carve out. But I thought he could win Another Strike from Salt Lake Shake, Rocket Juice, and 5, See You at the Session. 1, 4, 3, 5.
4, I'll go Salt Lake Shake, rolling the dice here first up, with blinkers on here after the trial, and he has a pretty sharp record at the Journey. So 4 from 1, Another Strike, who deserves to win one, there's no question about that. 3, Rocket Juice, I thought here, continuing its good form, although coming back to the 1,000 makes it a question, and See You at the Session. So they're all pretty similar, those numbers, in a little different order though. 4, 1, 3 and 5 to the first, Matt.
Digby 1435, TC's gone 1534, and Darren is 413 and 5. Race 2's at 19 to the hour. The Liberties Insurance played over 1100 with 7 and 8 to out of the first leg of the quaddie. $9 for Brazen Bid into 350 London's Image. $7 now for Maddie Girl into 380 Golden Vale. Clean 'em Up is at 7 and into $3.70 Desert Whisper.
Okay, they changed the time of the race to 1:41 race 2 yesterday. And with the bottom 2 out, down to just the 6, and you're already on trade here in regards to London's Image, back today, first run since her second in the Lustia Classic. And as we've said, she's so well placed under these conditions, the set weights and penalties, with 57.5, and a Burgess Queen Stakes winner placed in a Placid Arc where she was as brave as you could ever be, and also placed in the Lustia Classic as well. And she's mixed it up from various distances, and she is just so gritty and determined. So barrier 1, 1,100 metres, that might be the only query.
I thought it set up a little bit sticky for her. Diggers?
Where does she get?
Well, I thought the most likely scenario is Golden Vale leads.
Yeah. What about Desert Whisper?
I thought over the 1,100 metres. Now third up, a little bit fitter. I think we've seen that Desert Whisper. She's most effective at 1,000. Are they a little bit more conservative, trying to get that extra 100 metres?
I don't think so. I don't know. It's a trap race. Whichever way you look at it, for me, it's a trap race. I ummed and ahed. I actually thought Star Supreme could have played a part in this race until she was scratched this morning. The trial was electric. There's a heap of speed here. There's probably one horse who's not going to be involved in that initial speed battle, depending on how clean 'em up jumps, because we have seen her show an abundance of speed previously, but the blinkers come off, the winkers go on. That's Maddie Girl, who's going to sit out the back here.
Might have the last crack at the
May
mix.
well. We've seen that happen previously on a Saturday where she was victorious. But Desert Whisper, you watch that replay of that recent midweek win, she got out of the gates like it was a false start. Like, she sprung the gates, and her best chance of winning this race is probably finding the rail. She's a small filly, she's a fast filly, and she's at her best when she can jump and run. Can she cross Golden Vale? Golden Vale's got high-class 1,000-metre speed, and we've seen her, on numerous occasions jump and run. So I take your point there, TC. I thought maybe London's Image from that low draw would be box seating.
Yes.
And if she box seats there and they do burn, she might just have enough sprint in the... I like her here at 11 as opposed to 1,000. I think 1,000 would be too sharp for her regardless.
And never underestimate what she's capable of doing, because she can just come out and run time every race. I mean, she's been extraordinary in defeat.
It's no shock if she did lead. I don't think it's impossible that she leads, but I think it's
London's
unlikely.
Image?
Yeah.
I don't think that
unlikely.
she'd have the brilliance of a Desert Whisperer or a Golden Vale.
I would be surprised if she led this field, personally. But I think she's up to it in her eyeballs. The market says so as much.
Tipping her?
I am. Yeah,
Yep.
I've tossed, turned, switched. I'm not confident in the race. I really aren't. I don't know how to play it. Brazen Bid, no knock there. On what Brazen Bid was able to do. He has to carry the 58 kilos and is a Class 1 horse, whereas, as we spoke about, London's Image gets half a kilo on him, and she's an open class horse. The conditions of the race suit London's Image, so I've defaulted that way. So 2 on top from 4 Golden Vale, coming off a career best run in the Placid Arc, listed behind Wind and the Lion. That was a really good effort on that occasion. 6 Desert Whisper, because I thought she would find the top, and 3 Maddie Girl, making a run at them late. 2, 4, 6 and 3.
Okay, London's Image for you. What about you, TC?
Well, I'm with Maddie Girl. With that discussion we've had, I thought they might go helter-skelter, and like we saw back there in late August, when they did go mad over the 1,000 metres at Belmont, Maddie Girl was the one sitting back and just rounded them up. I thought this was a sort of similar scenario. We've seen her form during the carnival was very good. She was second in a Placid Arc Prelude. 1,200 metres at that level, I think, saw her out. We worked that out last campaign. Now at the 1,100 suits better. She'll be able to find her feet, get back and hit the line well. But clearly all 6 have winning hopes, and I thought she represented a little bit of value in a tough race. Number 3 on top to beat, 4 Golden Vale, 2 London's Image, and then 5 Clean 'em Up.
I'm the same 4 numbers. The order, though, is just a little different. I'm with London's Image as well. I think her class will get her through. To beat number 4 in Golden Vale and 3 Maddie Girl. If there is to be a knockout here with a swooper coming, it'll be her, no doubt, because she can certainly let down and peel off some very impressive numbers, as we've seen. Number 5, Clean 'em Up, also should have benefited from that first up run, given the fact she didn't trial before going into the 4th of 7 behind Schmoove Mover. 2, 4, 3 and 5. There for me, race number 2. Matt?
Now, Dig has gone 2, 4, 6, 3. Taylor 3, 4, 2, 5. And Mac is with 2 to beat 4, 3 and 5 in race 2. 2:23 for race number 3. Magic Millions plate at the 1,200. And True Fiction is 71. 5 out to 15 for Aberdeen Flyer. 34 from 16, Boza Lad. Mardusa is at $7 in from 12. 31, Yes Buster. Golden Opera, 460 into 245. Our Naughty Secret is at 23. 550 into 420, Perfectly Proper. 31, Admissible Sin. Messina is 12 into 5 and $23 after opening at 12. Queen Selzy.
Okay, well, it's a 2-year-old race. Looking at it over the 1,200 metres, Diggs and TC, first of all, and I'm happy to be corrected here, but there didn't appear, on what I've seen at least, on race form and in trials, there to be a hell of a lot of natural pace for a juvenile event.
Probably not. I think we can fall into a trap trying to speed map 2-year-old races a little bit, but I take your point. there's not a flying filly or colt here.
No. I was taken with Perfectly Proper's run on debut. To Do I Feel Lucky? It was the race that Golden Opera ran second in. It's had the benefit of a couple of runs. Perfectly Proper takes a bit of benefit, of course, out of that run as well there. And in those trials before its debut, led both of them. So maybe from barrier 3 here we might see it jump and be a little bit closer to them, Diggs.
Yeah, it was a nice enough debut effort, wasn't it? And that comes out of the same race, that performance as Golden Opera, Our Naughty Secret, as you touched on. And there's this conversation that we're having as we build towards the Magic Millions 2-year-old classic. Have we seen the 2-year-old winner yet in that race? One of those 2-year-olds who it is hard to knock is Do I Feel Lucky? So I can understand if the market has gravitated and continues to gravitate towards Golden Opera and Perfectly Proper on that basis.
Were you taken by any of the first up trialers, the runners on debut?
Yeah.
Medusa, Messina, Aberdeen Flyer?
Yeah, Aberdeen Flyer, Boza Lad and Medusa come out of that same trial at Belmont on the 6th of January. I thought
Medusa was good given the fact that it copped a check early on in the trial, and I thought it ran home very well.
Yeah, he did. It wasn't a quick trial, but he was taking ground off them late. I like the 1200 as a start point for Medusa, yes. And
Messina led and was sort of pushed along through that trial. So good money, though, for Messina. $12 into 5. It's been very hefty market.
I'm surprised Messina's a shorter price than Medusa.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I actually agree with that. It's not normally one of Simon's go-to strategies off a 400 jump out. They normally go around the corner for the 2-year-olds. He can give them a 400 and then either a 950 at Larkhill or 1,000 at Belmont. Rarely does he go to the races off one. Now, he might have his hand forced because this filly is a Magic Millions eligible filly, as is Medusa. Both cost 6 figures, so he might be looking to bank some prize money now, have another run, and then get to the Magic Millions third up.
Yeah, both acquired for similar prices through the Perth Magic Millions. Medusa 140, 130, Messina there. Perfectly Proper. Might be a horse that at 42.5, from a winter sale perspective, might have been high end there, but it looks as though she has got a fair bit of ability on what she showed first up, the way that she was scything away through. Thought that the way that she hit the line indicated that she's got plenty of upside to come. And the fact that she led those 2 trials before the debut, I can see from barrier 3 that Chris, who goes on board, Chris Parnham, takes over from Tash Faithful. We might see this filly a little bit closer over the 1200. So I'm going to go with her in the third, Diggs.
Yeah, I'm going Medusa, just as a bit of value here. I'm not convinced on a lot of these runners, and I may well have egg on my face, but I thought the 750 available for Medusa off what he did at that trial will get me. So 4 on top from 8 Perfectly Proper. I take your reasons there, Darren. 6 Golden Opera. As I said, they both come out of that same race behind Do I Feel Lucky, and 2 Aberdeen Flyer, who is going to be advantaged by drawing the barrier that he has, barrier 1, and the fence will help guide him on debut. 4, 8, 6 and 2.
TC.
Not much more to add. Number 8 on top for me, Perfectly Proper with you, Darren. I think up at the 1200 metres suits this filly really nicely. Number 6, Golden Opera, race form, race experience. Number 2, Aberdeen Flyer. I thought I saw something in the trial, and then gate number 1, as you mentioned, Diggers, is going to help tremendously. And then the 4, Medusa, 8, 6, 2, 4.
8 and 6 for me, Perfectly Proper Golden Opera. And then 4, Medusa, one of the debutantes, with a horse who has had a bit of experience at longer odds. I thought it could include a little bit of value there into your exotics. And that's Our Naughty Secret, who didn't get the best of luck go its way last time around. So maybe, although it's drawn a little awkwardly there, you could include it at the longer price around that $23 mark. 8647, and we'll take a break on the other side of this, Matt.
Digby 4862, Taylor 8624, Darren is 864 and 7. It's 29 to 9.
Let's have a look at race 4 on this Saturday morning. The Peters Investments Handicap over 1200. The very important scratching of the enigmatic Kraken Time coming out there. Let's go to the market. It was a very much adjusted market after that withdrawal of Kraken Time as well, Matt.
And big day on it is at $20. 15 for Rogue's Point. Avoidance now $7.50. 11 Lon's Delight. Boab Boy is now at 8. Cruise to Victory now $6.50. down to Ain't So Bad into 350, 23 Cavallo Red, Memory Parade now into 370 with Split Chate 34, 51 Trespassing.
Okay, so it makes for an interesting tussle, this one. The markets have been turned around considerably, but the one that I thought was way too long initially was Ain't So Bad, Diggs. It was $9 there for a horse going for 4 in a line and just continuing to pick them off one by one. Well, now into 350. So it was a considerable adjustment there to the market as far as that mare is concerned. But runs into Memory Parade, second up, who came off the back of a very good return to an informed Valsacina.
She's flying, Ain't So Bad. The trial leading up to that first up win, which was in Maiden Company down there at Bunbury, was really good. She beat Kamikaze Shooter on that occasion. I actually like the fact here, TC, she's 14 back to 12. I thought maybe, and the eyes could be a little bit deceiving, that at the back end of 7 at that most recent run down there at Pinjarra earlier this month, that she was just perhaps looking for the line. Now, she still won by in excess of a length, but I like the fact that she's clearly come out of that race in good order and is well placed at the 6 furlongs from this gate in this grade at her sort of city debut, or her first run in town this time in.
Yeah, probably the 1200 metre we're going to see the best of her at this stage, and 5th in that race, Mansour Magic down there at Pinjarra. So the form's been franked to an extent. Probably my query around Ain't So Bad is how much pressure is she going to have to absorb in this race with the likes of Boy Boy has drawn the widest. I'm not too sure what they do there. Avoidance has speed, Trespassing has speed, Rogue's Point has speed, and Big Day on It, if they choose to use it, has a bit of speed as well. So I thought there was a little bit of pressure up top. So I thought it set up for a horse that might be able to find a midfield run and zap over the top of them.
And who would that be?
Memory Parade in my eyes. I thought the first up run, you've touched on it, Darren, was very good. Valsacina's going extremely well over the 1,000 metres. Memory Parade, I'm not sure was totally suited, but still ran really well to only be beaten a long neck. I think up at the 1,200 metres suits a little bit better. First campaign, very good, and then running into some of those wet tracks at Belmont, we probably didn't see the best of her. So if you can take out the wet track runs, she's 6-2-2. So I think she's quite a nice mare, the 4-year-old, Memory Parade, and I think this race sets up beautifully for her.
I think she's one of the chances in the race there. You touched upon the high-end speed that we see in it there. Cruise to Victory's got very, very easy in the market, and it comes out of that trial that Rocking Gem, of course, won. So you'd have to think
the trial was very good.
That's a good trial, and the form has now been absolutely franked beyond belief. Barrier 3, you get the services of Clint Johnston Porter, who's riding in particularly good form at the moment, Jono. And it's got right out to be at a very backable price. Touch $750 at one stage, in that $650 range at the moment too. I think they're the ones. I'm a bit in your corner, I think, TC, with Memory Parade, but I'm not entirely convinced, because I have a great regard for Ain't So Bad, and there's no reason why Braden can't just sit, park and ride in behind, let the speed unfold in front of him. There's no reason to suggest here that she has to be in front or lead or punch the breeze to win a race. I think she's going so well as she continues her way through the grades at the moment. You'd be crazy to be leaving her out as a main winning threat. And then, Cruise to Victory in there, and even old Rogue's Point's probably got some little chances, well, of a few others in this particular race. But I'm going to go 10, 6, 8 and 2 there. Memory Parade, but not bullish. Over Cruise to Victory, I think, very backable, and Ain't So Bad, Rogue's Point. 10, 6, 8, 2. Digby Beacham.
10 for me, Memory Parade. We have seen her come back in good order, and one thing that I like about her today, and what we have seen in a reasonably small sample size, she needs good ground. So she gets that today, and she'll get me because of that. And that run behind Valsacina was sound. She was doing her best work late and then through the line. So 10 with the step to the 1,200 metres on top from 4. Lon's Delight. Luckless down there in the pretty rough house Fitzpatrick plate, it must be said. Expect Holly will let the speed go and come with a burst. That's how this fellow races his best. So I think he is a knockout hope. 8, Ain't So Bad, has a really good racing pattern. And 3, Avoidance, who is ticking along beautifully, gets Brad Parnham today. 10, 4, 8 and 3.
10, 6, 8 and 4 for me. Memory Parade on top, and I thought looked one of the better gambles of the day.
All right, I'm with you there as well, TC, in terms of our on-top selection.
Horse number 10 from everyone. 4-8-3 the Miners from Digby. 10-6-8-4 from Taylor. 10-6-8-2. Darren's thoughts to the fourth. 25-4 for the Drum and Golf handicap over 2100 race 5. They all start. Flower in the Wind, 11 into 750. Did open, though, at $4.40. $1.80 in from 3.10, Rocking Society. $4.40 out to $8.50. Noteworthy now, $7.50. 11 out to 21, Flash Paddy. Stormageddon, $8.50 into $6.50. Creasy's at 41, 20 into 16, For Your Eyes. God's Garden, 34. 201, High Boy. 19, Mystical Man. Rock Legacy, 26. 51, Tiff's Lad.
All eyes on Rocking Society here in race 5. Punters now into the short odds there. I thought you would have been rubbing your hands with glee when you saw the 2.30 the other morning there, but that subsequently has gone. And goes to the races today, chasing 4 straight after getting home in a dogfight to beat Alaskan last start. No Alaskans in this race this afternoon.
None.
Diggs.
None. In saying that, Flower in the Wind was enormous in the Perth Cup. Really, really good. Now, was she suited by the way the race was run? Probably. But terrific performance from her. So she comes out of a listed ATA 2 starts ago, then in a Group 2 Perth Cup, and now drops back to 66 plus grade and will carry less than what Rocking Society does, TC.
Yeah, and she was in 66 plus grade 3 starts ago, and she was a length off Kisses from Kelly, which isn't too bad form. So you can certainly make a case. I think Rocking Society's just going too well from gate number 3. Lucy gets the option. I'm not sure if she'll be the leader in this race, but she'll be in the first 4. However it works out, and she'll get every possible chance to ride another winner aboard Rocking Society. That's the way I've gone. Number 3, just as a point of difference, Noteworthy, getting out to this trip for the first time, so we're not really sure if she's going to run a strong 2100 metres. Her mum certainly did. Number 1, Flower in the Wind, and then number 5, Stormageddon, but it's pretty hard to go past number 2, Rocking Society for mine.
Okay. Flower in the Wind was huge in the Perth Cup, first run since.
Yep, absolutely. She was 2, 1, 4 and 11 for me. Rocking Society from 1, Flower in the Wind. Flash Paddy third up today, out to a staying trip. Sean O'Donnell, you think, would have had the choice between For Your Eyes and or Flash Paddy, and he's elected to link up again with Flash Paddy for rack. So hoping that Flash Paddy runs well. And TC mentioned that run of Flower in the Wind back on the 7th of December when not beaten far behind Kisses from Kelly in that same race was Rock Legacy. Now, he bungled the start a little bit the other day and was still only beaten 3.5 lengths behind Rocking Society. Carries 54 kilos. I thought maybe, just maybe, was capable of running a race, but it's all Rocking Society for me. 2, 1, 4 and 11.
Yeah, very similar to you as well, Diggs. 2 Rocking Society to go, 4 in a line, 1 Flower in the Wind. I've included For Your Eyes, who I think is going along pretty well, beaten 3.5 Rocking Society last time around, and it gets it on a bit better weight terms this afternoon from a low draw. Hopefully Joey can push forward there and put himself in the first 3-4. I didn't think that there was a great level of tempo in the race. And I've been following Mystical Man. We threw him out at a bit of value last start. Didn't quite get the job done. Ran to Rocking Society, but has been running very well behind him subsequently in about 3 runs. 2, 1, 7 and 10 for me in the 5th.
2 from Diggers, 1, 4, 11. Taylor 2, 3, 1, 5. Darren 2, 1, 7 and 10. The first leg of the main quaddie at 5 after 4. Studco handicap over 1100. Keep Reading is at 21. Add a couple of points to 950. Ice Picnic. Bayzid's at 18. 34 Street Parade. 6 from 650 Lexington City. Snow Prince is 13 into 10. 320 into 280 all play. 19 Son of the Boss. Under Influence is at 23. 5 into 340 Celestial Storm.
Yeah, there's a few here that come through that New Year's Day clash that was won by All Play. You had Lexington City second in the race. You had Celestial Storm third in the race. You had Under Influence come out of that same race as well. Is that the race that we're using as our form reference going into this first leg of the quaddie?
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so, yes.
Diggs, you?
Yes. Yes for me. Yes,
okay, do we see a different result, though?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like,
it is.
We know that Celestial Storm gets a little bit of weight relief from All Play here. And just looking at this race and the map and how it worked out, correct me if I'm wrong, and or if you have different thoughts, please speak up. But I thought Lexington City would find the top here. Son of the Boss would breeze, and that would leave All Play box seating and probably Celestial Storm if they didn't want to give her a dig out in that 1-1 position. And there, I thought maybe, just maybe, it's advantage Chris because he would have his main rival tucked away down on his outside. He can go when he wants, and maybe, just maybe, again, Sean's going to be dictated to.
I got your carbon copy, exactly how that race would potentially unfold. I do think, for that reason, that maybe it's Celestial Storm, who I really believe gutsed it out maybe a little bit better than I thought maybe she was capable of doing last time around. Coming off the back of the first up run to Divine Belief, and her numbers have been impressive this campaign. They really have been. So I can see her down on the limit getting a really lovely run into this race. I think she's well suited here to turn the tables.
I agree with everything that's been said over the last 90 seconds. And also the price got me as well a little bit earlier on. Even yesterday, I think Celestial Storm was closer to $4 and All Play at $2.50. I think that was too far apart. Now we're looking at $2.80 and $3.40. That's probably a little bit closer to where I thought the market would be. I'm with Celestial Storm to turn the tables, bursting to win a race. We know what happened first up here in WA on the 7th of December, was narrowly beaten by Divine Belief when the money was coming out of trees on that occasion, was about $7.50 into $3.50. Last start was well back, studded favourite over All Play. Chris handed up the lead. I don't think that cost him the race, but All Play just had the run of the race and was just too good on that occasion. So Celestial Storm with that weight swing, I think, can turn the tables on All Play. So number 10 on top to beat 7, the 6 Snow Prince. So in the scenario we've worked out, probably lands 3 back the fence. From there, the form hasn't been too bad. 2 starts ago, beat home playing Rio, who went down to the Great Southern and was successful in the feature race down there. And then last start was only beaten a length and a half Premium Choice. Premium Choice came out and ran second to Man Crush. So that form for a race like this is pretty good. Number 6 Snow Prince in for third, and the 2. I didn't mind the trial of Ice Picnic, and I think what's he showed in a small sample size for Steph Huller last preparation suggests that might be in for a good campaign. 10, 7, 6 and 2 for me.
Yeah, you just copped a rough old marble first up though, but tend to agree. Keep following Ice Picnic early on in his preparation. Diggs, your top 4 there in the first leg of the quaddie.
Tough race, the D-cipher. 10, 7, 5 and 2 for me. I am also with Celestial Storm. There's no knock on her 2 runs in WA for Luke Fernie. She's going particularly well, and I think she gets a suitable race to break through today. So 10 on top from 7 All Play. Talking of horses going well, he's a really, really nice horse, this fellow. He's got an excellent turn of acceleration. That has been on display this campaign, and it'll be somewhat of a surprise if we don't see it again today. 5, Lexington City. The first up run was terrific. Really good, fought on well. You'd think with the benefit of that one under his belt, he's going to be better again. And 2, Ice Picnic has a tricky gait and a lot of weight, but he's high class and he's very effective fresh. 10, 7, 5 and 2.
Yeah, we're hopefully on the money here with this race, Matt. It's 10, 7, 5 and 6 for me. The only changes that I've included Snow Prince there into my pick 4, but certainly with Celestial Storm going into race 6.
$3.40 currently for the first leg of the quaddie. Number 10, 7, 6 and 2 from Taylor. 10, 7, 5, 2 Digby. 10, 7, 5 and 6 are the thoughts of Darren. 12 to 9, the last 3 legs of the quaddie in just a moment.
Love that tune, The Stranglers. They're on a Saturday morning, just taking us into the home straight of our preview. You've not heard that before, TC?
Never.
Really?
No.
One of the all-time greats.
Wireless and the
Golden
Stranglers.
Brown. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You'll learn a lot from this program with veterans like Matt and Diggs.
Not sure what decade I'm in at the moment.
Me.
The 80s champ.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Thanks for that, Muscles.
He's only an emerging cob at this stage of his career. That's all I can say. Let's have a look at race 7 in the market, Matty.
Heskett, $13, 20 above the peg, 11 defending, 13 for Fluoro Nero, Not Secret at $14, 480 into 340 Rissoles, Soldanellas at $9.50 from 14, 16 into 12 Starring Night, 11 from 21 Blue Lagoon, 550 into 380 Hostile Talk, 11 is Scratched and On Patrol, 26 into 18.
Okay, let's talk a bit of pace. Where's it going to come from? Because you've got 2 very much in form back marker mares in Rissoles and Soldanel.
I thought probably, maybe by default, defending ends up in front, but there's not a lot of tempo.
Very little. Diggs?
Yeah, I agree. You'd think Ascot, they'll probably give him a rub out of the gates today and he can sit in a pretty prominent position, but I thought defending would go forward, and from there, that's where Holly, I think, has sort of created a name for herself. She rates those horses out in front particularly well, and I think defending will get an opportunity today to do that, and he will need to be rated well because he's had a few goes at this trip and it hasn't worked out. I thought it was half a hard race to work through this one.
Oh, difficult. Very, very difficult indeed. A lot has to go right for a few of these back in the field, and I think there's a fair bit of hope in terms of pace, etc., and pattern potentially. I finished up going with one who's been a bit easier in the market, and that's down there towards the bottom, and it's out of Grant Nolana's yard in Hostile Talk, who I thought overcame a bit of a checkered pathway to get the job done second up. It did beat Kraken Time. Kraken Time was a monster run, the run of the race. We don't see him, of course, today. But this has landed a beautiful lid out of gate number 4, Hostile Talk. Stable clearly going terrifically. So is Clint Johnston Porter. And thought the run first up at 1200 was a beauty behind Norwich as well, the way that he was able to get home late in that race. So tough race, given the fact that Rissole, Soldanel are both going to be back, and maybe just finding a bit of traffic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I ended up with Soldanel on top, conceding that she's going to need an awful lot of luck from that gate, the tempo that we're expecting. But if she does get the right tag into the race, she's shown in her last 2 starts on the back of a good tempo at Bunbury that she can finish off. And then it wasn't exactly a strong tempo last start when getting home over the top of Henry the Aviator, but she showed a nice turn of foot, and Steve Parnham gave her an absolute 12 out of 10 on that occasion, piercing through the field. So with it being a tricky race, I just wanted to try and find a little bit of value. I thought maybe Soldanel was that, but I won't be having a massive bet on Soldanel with all the luck that she is going to need. Number 6, Rissold's next best for me. I think she's going extremely well. Very good win 2 starts ago when getting the run of the race, and then not much luck last start when beaten a length and a half by Angel Undercover. Backs up off 7 days. The run last start suggests the 1400 metres shouldn't be too much of a worry whatsoever. The 9, Blue Lagoon, I think is going well. If I like Soldanel, probably need to like Blue Lagoon as well at nice odds of $11.
That's not your money, though, is it? 21 into 10 at one stage.
I wasn't aware there was $21, otherwise it would have been some of my money.
Oh, someone's had a good look at the ice cream.
And then number 10, Hostile Talk, probably the horse in this field where I think you can be sort of guaranteed it's going to get a nice run from that gate, midfield, get every possible chance. I just want to see how that form line sort of turns out. It was a bunched finish, 7, 6, 9 and 10 in a tricky race.
Yes, it is indeed. Diggs.
Yeah, it is a tricky race. TC referenced there the performance recently of Blue Lagoon, and you go back to that race, that was a couple of weeks ago. He gets 2 kilos off Soldanel from that run, and he ran the fastest last 200 of that race, and by some margin. He ran 11.02. He drops down to 56.5 kilos. He gets weight relief, and the last 2 runs I think have actually been very, very good. He drew 13 of 16 when beaten 5 behind Papavero Princess, and then the other day he was obligated to go back Paddy Carberry from the widest gate, and he made his run down the middle of the track. Weight relief, better gate today, can settle handy, and you're getting each way quote to find out. So that's the way I'll go. 9, Blue Lagoon. From 6, Rissoles. I like the fact that she's here again after that luckless run last week. The 1400 metres with her racing pattern shouldn't be any issue. She's got an excellent turn of acceleration. 1, Ascot, coming out of that easing wild behind Fast Flicker. That's good enough form for a race like this. And Starring Night comes back to town off the back of 2 wins there at Geraldton, where the figures have been strong. I just stepped around Soldanel because she is a horse who can be a little bit keen in a race as she hits the bridle quite hard, and if there is a lack of tempo, she might just be a handful for Stephen to handle today. 9, 6, 1 and 8.
Yeah, I'm leaving Soldanel out of my top 4 also. I'm down there to 10, Hostile Talk. I thought getting a few favours in transit there, going well so far. Early doors in the campaign with Johnston Porter in the saddle, I thought could beat Rissoles with those excuses last start. And 8, Starring Night, bringing that very good form back down from the Midwest. Ascot, I concur with you, Diggs as well, 4th best for me. It's 10, 6, 8 and 1 and Blue Lagoon. most definitely the best of the others in my view.
Which is at $11. And Diggers tip number 9, 6, 1 and 8. TC is 7, 6, 9 and 10. Darren is 10, 6, 8 and 1 there in that 7th race. The 8th at 5:05, celebration of Life Day Trophy over 1,500. Fast Flicker 550 into 420. Fear the Wind 31. Out to 950, Rush into the Bar. 420 into 330, Bonjoy. Bruce Almighty is at 18. $4 from 460, Own the Queen. Weapon Sun 41. 850 out to 13, Antique Mist now at 12. 17 for Rusty Dreams. 81 Atlantis Beach. Benji's 61. 18 into 14, Cool Memory.
Okay, well, these two good mares, Bonjoy, Own the Queen, they reprised their starstruck battle here, TC and Diggs as well. Of course, Bonjoy winning there that particular day. Own the Queen gets a nice, decent swing in the weights on her, though, for that performance, and then came out, and that was after she led in that race, which we didn't see coming at all. And then in a race where we thought she might have led, they barely even walked around in that Latrice.
She had no chance from where
she had no hope in the world, no. And Bonjoy subsequently has had a little setback, a couple of this preparation with a hoof abscess. But she's got a fabulous third-up record.
I think you can make a case for about 6 or 7 of them here, Diggers.
Yeah, agree.
You could make a top 4 and probably miss the winner. I thought Rush into the Bar was a good chance. I've decided to just put a line through that 2,100 metre run. Seemed like a little bit of a... Well, Luke spoke to us on Thursday on the Sports Daily, and he thinks eventually Rush into the Bar is going to get over a bit of ground. It wasn't horrible, but it didn't exactly flatter in the Group 2 Van Heemps. I think prior to that beating Investment Strategy, I thought that run was very good, and if he's able to repeat that performance from 2 starts ago, it would be hard to beat.
Yeah, and Blinkers on back there to 1,500 also might be a nice way to go about things off a month between runs.
Yeah, exactly right. I thought represented a little bit of value, touching around that $10 in the market. Again, number 3, Rush into the Bar, but concede 6, Own the Dream, well and truly up to this. Gate number 4, things are going to work out a little bit better from that draw. Drops back to the 1,500. The 4, Bonjoy, we know she's had a few hiccups this campaign, but at her absolute best, very capable of winning this race. And then I thought if there was a knockout, maybe the 12, Cool Memory. Fitzpatrick Plate, nothing went right. Line through that. First up, behind Joker's Grin and Generosity, up to the 1,500 metres. We saw during the winter months that he's a horse that, if the progression continued, he'd be up to this sort of level. So if they are able to go forward over the 1,500 metres third up, I thought he might be a little bit of a cheeky horse in this race. 3, 6, 4 and 12, but I've left out Fast Flicker, Antique Miss. There's probably a couple others that can win this race as well.
Okay then, what have you been able to peg down for us?
It's a good race. It's a really competitive affair. I ummed and ahed, and I know that Own the Queen gets a pull on the weights on Bonjoy, but I'm a massive fan of this mare, and I've wanted to be with her all the way through this campaign. And it's been a little bit stop-start for Jason and Connections, but I think her best is the best of any horse in this race. So 4, Bonjoy on top from 6, Own the Queen. They look the logical first 2 for me. 9, Rusty Dreams. Again, comes out of that starstruck as well. And I like the fact that Brad goes back aboard today. Now, she's had a couple of cracks at it. She probably wasn't suited by that sit sprint affair most recently when third behind Antique Miss in a farcically run Latrice and 1 Fast Flicker. I just been wondering how much is too much in regards to weight for a mare and a quality of opposition that she's going to encounter today. 4, 6, 9 and 1. I like Rush into the Bar. I just didn't know where he would get from that gate. That was all.
Yeah, I'm 4 as well. Bonjoy over 6, Own the Queen there. And then 3, Rush into the Bar with those blinkers, 1 Fast Flicker. But I do think that maybe the 60 is starting to get hold of her. 4, 6, 3 and 1 before we take a look at the last. Matt?
Diggers 4, 6, 9, 1. TC 3, 6, 4 and 12. Numbers from Darren are 4, 6, 3 and 1. In said last race, it's a 20 to 6 Bellis Racing Stables 30th birthday handicap over 1,800. 13 out, and Savorsky at 31. Star rating now 15. 13, I Dream to Dream. Into $9, Long Jeans. 9, also Romeo. And $3.90 in from 460, Why Me. Magic Whistle 15. His Eminence 21. Into $3.80, Antique Queen. Barramundi's at 13. 17, Knock One Back. Boys Light Up 31. Down to Henry Has Spoken 71. 23 for Play Fair.
Okay.
I love that. You're just the OEK.
Okay.
What are we doing? TC, do you want to have a go? Up your step, big boy.
I'll tell what I'll do just for you. I like you. Just for you.
That's not
Just
what
give
we
us some
usually
numbers.
say.
You don't even have to justify them.
Well, Antique Queen on top for me. Number 9.
That'll do.
At 380, I don't think that race last start suited. Was
No,
back
against the
had
pattern.
Exactly right. Had to run down the widest part of the track on that occasion. I think up to the 1800 metres, third up, big tick. It's going to take another good ride from Clint Johnston Porter from that sticky draw. But I think if she's able to find a little bit of cover, clear galloping room, I think she'll be hard to beat. 2-star rating comes through the same form line, as does the 3 I Dream to Dream, who got an absolutely perfect run last start. And then the 6 Why Me El Patron form, not something that I dare say we're going to be following a long time, but it's that sort of race. 9, 2, 3 and 6. Around that $4 will get me Antique Queen.
Fair enough. Get your flights out here, Diggs, and have a little crack at the dartboard.
What did you make of His Eminence's run the other day, Darren?
Good.
You called
Really
it?
good. Yeah,
Really
I've got
good.
it as the danger.
Yeah, I actually have it on top around that
To what I'm
point.
going to tip.
Yep. Yeah, I look, second up, 14, fast run affair, got to the line nicely, had to sustain a run. So you'd think the 1800 metres third up, probably looking for even further than that. But off the back of that, as I said, coming out of a fast run race where the figures were strong, the numbers were good, and it's that sort of race. I wasn't sure on some of these others. I can understand Antique Queen being in the market. I can understand why Me is the price that he is, given Brandon's horses back up particularly well. But I didn't mind the quote about His Eminence. So 8 each way on top from 9, Antique Queen. Very good effort. The first up win was sound. The second up run was strong, got to the line nicely, 1800 suit, 6 Why Me and 2-star rating. 8 each way from 9, 6 and 2.
Yeah, hardly a compelling way to end the day from my perspective. I'm with Antique Queen as well, with the Albany win first up, and then, of course, the pattern certainly not favouring her at all next time out. Could be a really good day for Clint Johnston Porter if all things unfold the way they are on paper, at the very least, going into the last on the program. So I'm 9. I'm certainly with you there, Diggs. Well picked. His Eminence nearly could have had it close to the top also. Why Me, I think, will probably get the shakes even further in the betting market. I'll be risking it. And Romeo is ticking over pretty well. It made my fourth best. 9, 8, 6 and 5 before we take a look at our best for the day. Matt.
Digby 8-9-6-2. TC ends with 9-2-6-3, and Max gone 9 to beat 8, 6 and 5.
Okie dokie. Let's go to the best bets for the program here. What have you come up now there with Digby Beacham?
I am race 4, Darren, and that is the War Champ mare trained by Sean and Jake, Memory Parade. So race 4, number 10, Memory Parade, my best.
Right, best for you, TC.
Well, I'm the same. Race 4, number 10, Memory Parade.
Okay, look, I did make it well before the markets all of a sudden got hold of Rocking Society. I was very, very happy looking at the price early doors at the 230. Well, that's gone, but 180, I think the horses in form. I've got to stay there with Rocking Society. It's a bit on the skinnier side for me personally, but that's the way that I'll go. Now, the lay of the day. Digby.
Fast Flicker. I just thought the 60 might be as... What do you...
Nah, just reaction.
Oh.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, very
Exactly right.
dramatic.
Add something.
Very theatrical.
Race 8, number 1. I don't like doing it to Tony's horses and Stephen riding because they are a lethal combination, but I will go that way. Race 8, number 1, Fast Flicker. I just thought the weight would be too big of an issue today.
And yours, Taylor?
Race 7, number 10, Hostile Talk. In a race, I think you can make a case for 5 or 6 of them.
I've tipped it, but I haven't certainly elaborated
It's
on it.
nothing personal.
No, I know. I say, why me? Why me?
Yeah.
Why me? Race 9, number 6. It's going to be my knock. What about a play of the day? Have you got one there at all?
Well, how about Maddie Gill to run top 2? It's close to $3 in that small field, and then into Memory Parade to win.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take that then. Fair enough.
All right.
Digby?
I'll go a bit of a widey here. I'll have His Eminence each way I have him on top in the last, so I'll go that way. Race 9, number 8, His Eminence each way, currently $21 and $5.25.
I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. Mine's nothing like that, nothing as appealing. I'm going with a Jason Skinny Miller pairing for the day there. We'll call this our Skinny Dipping Double. And we're going to be going... Pathetic, I know. We're going to go Rocking Society. It's a bit short, the first leg, but into the lovely mare Bonjoy a bit later on. So there you go. That's our play for the day.
Excellent.
Do you like it, Matt?
Skinny dipping?
Not particularly.
No?
Oh.
Not your go?
Well, you're not his go.
Taking
But that's more to the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
taking the play for
Stop
the day.
sending him selfies.
All righty. Well, that's all we've got. That's the best we've got. It's one of those kind of a day today.
Okay.
Matt, have a great day.
Sit back there and just think about that wildly as you continue on through the morning.
I'm busy here, thank you.
Good on you, mate. You've done a great job as always there, too. We're not buttering you up.
Thank you.
We like you at the keys.
Thank you.
I think he
Played
just
with
wants to
music.
get on with it.
He does
fair.
indeed, TC. What are you doing today, mate? Are you on
I'm
board?
taking over from Matt from 10.
Okay, you're in the chair.
It's just
He
as
needs
if you
to
need to
go.
listen to
Okay.
me more. I need to go get some food
He
and
needs
coffee.
to go get some breakfast, so let him go
Well,
down.
here's the clean and wipes before you get into it. And
What?
we'll see you, Digby. We'll see you, Digby, somewhere around a course at some time.
Yep.
Thanks for your company this
Note to
morning.
myself, don't answer the call when Darren
Inside
wants to
Running.
FaceTime you.
Hopefully we found a few winners on the program today.
All right, it's been great working with you blokes over the years. I appreciate that.